All right, folks, Vitek here from Wani, and with us today we have Eric Peterson, the mastermind, the riff master of Testament. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. You guys must be super pumped that after 4 long years, we finally have a new album coming out later this month, The Brotherhood of the Snake.
Yes, we have a new record coming out, and it's been 3.5 years, but who's counting?
Yeah, that's right. You guys have already unleashed the fist pumping title track as well as the kind of business. So how's been the response from your fans so far?
I think that one's kind of a sucker punch, I think, kind of a song. It's pretty brutal. It's definitely a piece, what to expect on the New Testament, but you have to hear the rest of it to get the full picture of it, because I think this record in its entirety kind of speaks for itself. It's a little bit of a concept record, I would imagine. Maybe the first 5 songs kind of keep into the same theme from the Brotherhood of the Snake, and then it starts trailing off into, songs of their own. But yeah, I mean, definitely this record, in general, all the songs together as a whole is the best way to hear it. But yeah, we are very excited. It's going to be a scorcher, thrashing record.
Indeed, man, indeed. I've been listening to it from last couple of weeks, and I can clearly, to be honest, how the impact Dark Roots made. For me as a fan, it felt like it was difficult to top that album. But when I listened to this album, it has grown on me from last couple of weeks, and now I can clearly feel that how you guys have evolved by incorporating the sound on Dark Roots, by cranking up that groove and adding that extra punch to your compositions with some amazing riffs that obviously is going to haunt your fans.
Yeah, I think we kind of have a formula that we've been messing around with. I mean, obviously, we had a particular sound, the first 5 records, when some of the original members left. Alex in particular, and Lou's the drummer, so obviously he's gonna whoever follows next is gonna make a big difference in as far as the foundation of the sound. As far as writing, Alex and I were kind of the guitar player writers team. He was more on the more rock side and more melodic side, and I was more on the darker thrasher side. So when he left, I tried to fill that gap of being, melodic, but at the same time, I was kind of like, now I can be heavy. So with that being said, that's kind of what we've been doing since then, and I've kind of learned probably a lot of lessons on the way. So I think I've kind of not mastered, but definitely have found that balance between knowing about, where to put melody and key changes. And then what comes natural to me is more the darker, heavy, faster side that you hear in Testament.
Absolutely, because I know that you have written this album in its entirety, and I think even Dark Roots was written almost 99% by you. So by now, it's clear enough as a fan or as a Testament fan to understand the kind of songs you guys write. But on this album, the interplay between you and Alex in terms of solos, or obviously the harmonies which have been brought into this, have got some really great that perfection in terms of the hooky riffs which you guys have written. So I know Alex wasn't involved as much on this record, but in terms of solos, was it completely you doing it this time, or Alex has written a couple of solos?
No, Alex. So, I mean, it all depends on how you look at it. I mean, as far as getting the bulk of the plans ready for the record and writing the song structure, that's all me. But as far as solo, guitar solos, and Alex coming in, and he definitely puts his little touch on it. So, we can't exclude him from being on this record. I mean, so a lot of people have well, you wrote the whole thing. I wrote the songs, but everybody that played on it made it what it is. It isn't all me.
True.
I mean, I some people tell me to stand up for myself, but at the same time, I'm very humble about it. And I understand the reality is, yeah, I did come up with songs, but I got great players. I got Gene, I got Steve, I got Alex, Chuck, all these people that made this record what it is.
True.
So now going back to the solos, yeah, I mean, Alex plays solos on every song. The only one he doesn't play a solo on is actually, and this is the first time in history as far as is Blackjack, which I handled the duties on that.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, there's some stuff, I guess, like you could say like Brotherhood of the Snake. That would be more of like a filler kind of lead.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the bigger compositions, there's some stuff that I helped him on as far as like maybe The Pale King, where I kind of directed him as far as like because of the background of the music. But then there's some stuff that he did on his own, and he came up with his own whole, the whole rhythm section as well, like on Neptune Spear, for instance.
Right.
And that's kind of, to me, one of the standout leads on this record from him. It's got that real Bach influence, kind of like the first Strike, Still Deadly, Is Deadly,
yes,
kind of vibe. It's got the kind of classical sound to it, mixed with some shredding and stuff. But and then there's like Can of Business, where we go back and forth.
True.
It starts with me, and then it goes to him, and then it ends with me. And I think you can tell the difference between us because I'm more of kind of a bluesy. I use the wah pedal a lot, and Alex is more kind of shredding, and I'm a little bit more, I don't know, bluesy, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to explain it, but it makes for a different listen, I think, rather than just the same thing. There's more to listen to, I guess.
Indeed, absolutely. And obviously, with Gene on this record, we know that he's played the fastest blast beat on the title track, which you've already heard. But seeing him, writing all these amazing drum lines. Now, you guys have been very comfortable, writing these songs and, and having Gene play some crazy stuff. But on this album, I mean, when you look at it in terms of taking it live, I know you don't give a damn about it. You just want the album to be perfect. But when you think of live, do you think it's possible, humanly possible, for anyone else to exactly do what Gene does on this record?
Well, that's a hard question. I mean, yeah, of course there is. I mean, there's a lot of great drummers out there. Gene just has his way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Gene's style fits the best at doing this kind of stuff for us, I think. All truth be told, I had a ghost drummer that helped me write some of the stuff and put the drums together for the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
There's this kid that I worked with on my Dragonlord record. His name's Alex Bent. He's 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of this stuff stemmed from his playing,
cool.
which went to Gene's hands. And then Gene made it, his own thing. So, that's more of the backstage kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know if that's the kind of stuff, I guess now everybody wants to know everything.
Yeah, right. I had that.
It's definitely, it's fun to tell the story. I don't know how healthy it is for the band.
Mm-hmm.
But, with all truth be told, it took a village to make this record, even though there was, one person coming up with, a lot of the ideas, myself, Chuck, with the brotherhood of all of us, of everybody that we work with, made this record, possible.
Indeed. That's really cool to hear. And Steve on this has brought in his own influences. So again, the mix is such, wonderfully handled on this record, where you can hear every note of Steve, and that's wonderful to see how everything has been taken care. You have worked with a new producer on this album, I guess. It's been Andy Sneap doing it. So how's it this time, having a producer on board with just Andy handling only the mix part of it?
Well, we've done it before like that with him. Let me see, what record was it? I think the last record was kind of the same way. Andy came out, and well, I guess the only thing different is I recorded my own guitars. Juan Urteca, who's worked on, by the way, a lot of people think he's new, but Juan's been working with us since the formation.
Oh, awesome.
You know, more of like the B-sides, and then, you know, maybe doing some vocals. But now on this end of it, he did all of the recording, excluding my rhythm guitars. But, you know, pretty much put it all together at his studio and with Andy mixing. And I think just from, you know, like I said, it's the same team.
Yes.
But I think it's the same team reflecting what we've done in the past and getting it righter this time.
Absolutely. I want to ask one question to you, Eric. I mean, as a fan who's been following Testament for more than 2 decades now, do you think, I mean, from your perspective, because you're the main songwriter, that I feel that this record is the pinnacle of what Testament could do? So for you, you know, how do you visualize Brotherhood in your mind as an album in the Testament's catalog? And do you think would it even be possible to exceed this in future?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, as a human being, I mean, we're always going to keep exceeding ourselves, you know, whether it's a good exceed or a bad exceed. So, you know, we're fans of metal and we're into what we're doing. I don't see why we can't stay up to par or, like you said, exceed what we're doing. Because every record, it seems like we've done, from Low to Demonic to The Gathering
to Formation of Damnation,
and everybody kept saying the same thing, like, how are you going to top that?
Right.
And I don't think it's topping it. I think it's just fresh music, and it seems like we're topping it because it's fresh and it's actually pretty good.
Right.
So when the next one comes out, it's going to be up to par with this record. So in a way, it's going to be topped, but it's not. You know, they're all. Who knows? I mean, maybe if this record came out when Dark Roots came out, and then Dark Roots came out, maybe they would say, "Oh, whoa, you know, you got a ballad on there now." And
right.
So, but you know, I mean, with all, like you said, you know, as far as this could be the pinnacle of where we're at, I think you're kind of right on that, just because of the style, you know, the thrash style. There's more of that essence and more heaviness.
True.
And there's not so much, you know, this record happened really, really quickly, and there wasn't a lot of time for debate between the band members.
Yeah.
It was like they had to go with what I had, which, you know, was kind of frustrating for some of the guys, but, you know, for the outcome, like Chuck said, I mean, Chuck was one of the people that was, you know, pretty frustrated during the recording until he got on his groove and once he got a couple songs recorded, he's like, okay, this is actually pretty good. So with that being said, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, without having the debates and just letting it be what it is why it sounds the way it sounds.
Right. Absolutely true that, Eric. You're taking this on album, you know, on road with Amon Amarth, which have a different sort of a fan following, you know, especially in terms of Vikings and their melodic death metal aspect. So again, a good chance for Testament to gather a little more fans, which already you already have a great set of fans in Europe. So should be great to have you and also Amon Amarth taking this album on road.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and you know, maybe some of our fans will come. I mean, I think we got kind of the same fans. They're just a newer band, and you know, we have been around for 30 years now. Yeah. So, you know, maybe some of the people that are listening to them are younger, and maybe in a cliche way, they think that we're an old band. But I think when they see us live, we'll probably prove that wrong to them.
True.
And you know, we're not a bunch of old guys jumping around forgetting lyrics and stuff most of the time.
Yeah. In fact, I was surprised that White Testament wasn't headlining, because you guys have been doing it for a long, long time.
Well, like I said, you know, Amon Amarth, taking Testament out of the equation, Amon Amarth is a band that is at the height of their success.
Right.
And in this day and age, you know, with using the stage props and stuff that they use, whatever reason it is, they are where they're at because of what they're doing. You know, they're doing something right. I think adding us to the equation, especially now with this new record, only strengthens the tour.
Right.
And it's, you know, we get to share in that success with them. That's cool. I think that's a smart move for us.
Right, absolutely. Eric, you know, thanks a lot for sparing some time. I look forward to see you guys in London and obviously in Germany as well. So that would be my second experience in terms of Testament. So good luck with the release, man. Lovely artwork, great songs. I hope this smashes Billboard all the way, and good luck, man. That's it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself, Eric. I'll catch you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.